All right, welcome to the what is it, sixth episode of the.
Is it the sixth? I thought it might be the seventh.
Sixth. No, it's definitely the sixth.
Okay.
Because the last episode 5 was probably the best episode that we've had so far.
The most well received by a mile.
The thing is, I think like every week they're getting better and better. As far as we're getting more comfortable doing these podcasts.
Yeah, we're refining our skills.
And then now it's just getting a lot better. And I think the feedback from the last episode was the best yet. And I'm feeling I keep saying this every fucking podcast. I swear to you, I say this every podcast, but I'm not even joking you. Probably the best feedback yet. And no, we're good to go.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. We're definitely refining our skills as podcasters.
Yeah.
Rather than just two idiots sitting in front. I mean, we're still two idiots sitting in front of mics and chatting,
still
but
idiots chatting.
idiots. But how have you been?
I've been alright.
Since the last podcast, it's been about a week now.
It's been 5 days. This one's come quicker. I think because the last one went so well, probably you were definitely way more motivated to get on that. Because I think a couple of days later, like 2-3 days later, you want to do another one? I was like, already? I was like, no, I'm not ready.
I've been on your case all week. Yeah, we should step it up. We should level it up. We should go 2 times a week, and we should fucking hire a studio, and we should get professional microphone, and we should do this, and we should do that. But
well, you're already talking about getting the second camera in, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm to be honest, I'm ready to just keep this rolling, especially during this lockdown time.
Well, this is the thing. It's one of the few things we can actually do progressively. Like our careers are it's very difficult to progress our careers at the moment given the circumstances, but this is the one thing we can kind of improve on.
Yeah, and this weather sucks. Like the weather sucks today.
Man.
It's super like depressing, honestly. It's a bad one.
Last week it was snowing.
Week snowing, and I had a good week that week though. I don't know, there was something I had a good week, but it's just now with all this rain, I've had to just reschedule clients. It's just been a pain.
Yeah,
it's just been a big pain in the ass.
The snow is it's a novelty. It's enjoyable, but the rain is just long. Like today, going out for steps and stuff like that is impossible.
Yeah.
You got to bring an umbrella, and then the umbrella does that annoying ass thing where it folds inside out, and I'm like, the wind and the rain just
and I've got a broken umbrella as well. It was even just getting
it's
here.
robes, man.
Central London empty again.
It is still empty. I was in Covent Garden this morning, literally the only person in the entirety of Covent Garden, which is usually, given it's a Saturday today as well, like it will be rampant no matter what time. But the rain, the conditions, I don't know. Do you feel like it's getting to you a bit more at the moment?
These past few days, I felt a little bit more. Don't know what it is. There's something in the air. Something's going on. It's that time.
Definitely.
It's that time of the month. It's that time of the month.
Is it your time of the month, bro?
It's that time of the month.
I'm feeling that. I can't lie. I'm really feeling that. But here's what I would say is, it's something I've come to terms with this year, especially in terms of mindset, is there are down times.
Yes.
And it's fine. That's a part of life. It's one of the sales things. Remember I was talking to you about selling and sales techniques, and you're not going to be able to sell your services or your product to every single individual. There's going to be no's along the way. Same goes with picking up girls or whatever. There's going to be no's along the way. That's just an inevitability.
100%. Bro.
It's the same as happiness. You're not going to have happy day every single day. So you've got to prepare for the down days.
And you know what's hilarious? The people that are like, I'm so happy every day they come in this thing. I'm like, man.
No, but you know what? Like,
that, man.
You do get great periods in your life like that where, especially like the last 2-3 weeks, I've been super positive.
Yeah.
Gratitude's been high. Like, I've been fulfilling a lot of my, my needs, my values. But I don't know what's happened the last few days, whether it's circumstances, whether it's things I've done, whether I've not been prioritizing my health as much as I need to be. Because for me, I don't know about you, but it's something I have to consciously work on a lot, is my mental health. It's not something that comes naturally. I have to work hard. I have to make sure I'm eating the right foods, getting the right sleep, and doing the things that make me happy,
No question about it. It takes hard work to keep it, especially during lockdown. It takes hard work, and it actually takes discipline. It actually takes a lot of discipline to be like happy in a way. Discipline to feel great.
I agree with that 100%, which I don't know if everyone feels that way.
I don't know. I assume everyone does. Everyone's on a different wavelength, like completely different wavelength.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was doing my weekly shopping at Tesco's. Yeah. And I was doing my the big weekly shopping, and then you know me, I look at my food, and I'm like, okay, got all my veg, got like no sugar, I had no chocolates, nothing like that. I was been really good in my diet, especially recently. I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
In fact, really, really good, over the top good. I haven't even been consuming any extra sugar at all, apart from the fruits and whatnot. But doesn't really count for me. And then I looked at everything that I bought, and then I look at the guy behind me. Oh man, like I'm not that guy that's judging everyone, but I was just looking at my food, and then the thing is, there was a guy behind me, and then he comes and he just made such a loud noise. He went boom, boom, and I was like, let me see what this guy's putting. Okay, he puts boom, one Sprite, boom, another Sprite, and then the 1.5 liter,
the big boy Sprite.
And then I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, that's a lot of sugar for the week. No word of, I swear to you. He put 2 Sprite, and then boom, lemonade, boom, lemonade. And I looked, and the next thing, boom, I was like, cupcakes, boom, crisps. And I looked, I was like, oh man, like we're on the opposite end. That just reminded me.
Dude, but do you think he's happy?
Well, no, he's not thinking about. I don't think he's thinking in the same way that we are. As far as
do you know what? Like shop it, like.
But everyone's in their own, you know.
Yeah, food shopping for me is such a process of like cost benefit analysis of everything I buy. You're thinking about price, you're thinking about quality, you're thinking about how's this food going to make me feel, you're thinking about am I going to be bothered to actually cook it? What am I going to, I don't know, it's quite stressful grocery shopping. That's why I tend to do daily shops, to be honest. I'm not a weekly shopper.
Nah, I used to do the daily, but now I'm on the weekly.
Because I walk past it anyway, there's 3 Tesco Metros around me. It's not difficult for me to get there. And they're all
big one. I went to the big mega one.
The big boys where you get the you get the trolley. I don't remember the last time I used the fucking trolley, man. I'm all about that basket life.
That is.
I'm on the are you on a club card?
I am on the club card.
Do you know what? I got the club card and I thought this is gonna change my life. I'm gonna save so much money. It's a scam, right. Bro. No, you don't make back any money. The only good thing is you get the deals, right?
Yeah, you get
like the save 50p or whatever. Yeah. But the actual points don't mean shit.
Well, have you turned them into vouchers though?
But it's like a voucher for like $2.50, no?
It depends how much you shop though.
I've been doing daily shop. I've had my club card for like 2 months now. I'm like £2.50.
Is that okay?
And I'm pretty sure I spend a lot of money on food as well. Okay. Like I don't hold back when I'm in the supermarket.
What about with that McDonald's that was downstairs in the?
This guy's capping. This guy's chatting shit. I've not had McDonald's in like a year, bro. Go shut your mouth.
Here's the thing when it comes to fast food, yeah. If you're like gonna have a cheat meal, yeah, or I'm gonna have a cheat meal. I'm not gonna fucking waste it on McDonald's. Lord,
no way.
That dry burger, especially now in 2021, yeah, where you got such amazing burger places about. Why are you gonna pick McDonald's? I don't understand the big deal of McDonald's. Whenever I've been to McDonald's in the past, in a couple years, and I rarely ever go. You might maybe I think the last night I must have been there like 1 a.m. after a night out. I think
it's always open. McDonald's. Yeah, it's always open.
And then you go in there, and I remember just looking at it, I was like, why is it so packed? People are loving it.
But you also don't have to talk to anyone as well because you got those screens now. You just tap on the screen. Fuck, no matter how shit you're feeling, just tap.
You're the expert, bro. I don't know. You're the
don't
expert.
try and dip me in this. No, but you know what? If I'm going for a burger and fries cheat meal, I'm going for a Five Guys.
Oh yeah, you're telling me
I'm
about
a big Five Guys guy.
Five Guys. I'm an Honest Burger guy, but that's just me.
But Honest Burger, the chips are so crazy salty, man.
They're the best.
No,
they're the best chips in London.
I 100% disagree.
It's actually known. I'm
playing around with
it's
this microphone.
known in the hospitality sector as the best chips in London.
For what?
Because they're so good. The rosemary
there's
chips.
too much fucking.
No,
I went into Honest Burger one day and I overheard someone on the next table ask for extra salt. I'm like, this person's got a motherfucking death wish. If you're putting more salt on those chips, man. You're using your sodium intake for the year because they are the saltiest things anyway.
I love them. Anyway, welcome to the podcast, the unnamed podcast.
Yo, Phil,
still no name.
Phil for a couple of minutes whilst I try and sort out this microphone.
We still have no name for the podcast. If you have any suggestions, please send it over. Whatever you think, any suggestions, send them through. Message me, message Harry, at Harry Coached by Cox, or at danielmalcolmpt. message us and give us some feedback on, well, we don't even know. We're struggling with the names. We're not even struggling. It's just we were going back and forth with different names. I was just on a tangent on messaging Harry with different names one day. I think I was half asleep, and I was just like, yeah, maybe this. But either way, for now, the unnamed podcast. Are you right there, mate?
I'm really not. I'm really having a bad time here. I think it's not in my face at the moment, but I can't really see. I'm sure it'll be fine.
You'll be all right, mate.
Nobody
You'll
needs
survive.
to see my face anyway. Just listen to the audio, bro.
Yep.
But speaking of, we were talking momentarily ago about discipline in terms of making yourself happy. I was determined to embark on a new challenge.
What's the new challenge? Oh,
the cold showers.
The cold shower challenge.
So I texted Daniel.
So hold on, this started ages ago. Well, I started telling you, hey, let's go jump in Hampstead Heath Pond in the freezing cold, and you were instantly like, no.
No, I said, no. I'm not trying to die out here. I'm saying if you jump in Hampstead Heath when it's free, I'm gonna get pneumonia. I am going to die.
You're being a drama queen.
I'm going to die.
You're being a drama queen.
But then I messaged Daniel maybe a few days ago. I said, yo, what do you think about these cold showers? Because I've been listening to some David Goggins, right? The hardest man on the planet. And I was thinking, what do you think about these cold showers, bro? And Daniel was like, yeah, what are you saying about the Heath? I was like, relax, okay? One step at a time. And then Daniel said, okay.
Well, you say one step at a time, and then you say, let's do a 5-minute cold shower. Do you know how long 5 minutes is?
So, let me talk about my experience. So
have you done it?
Yeah.
All right. Let's give a little bit of backstory. Because obviously, the past few years, there's been the whole Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
The whole cold showers. And then I was doing it for a bit last year. I was doing it quite consistently for a bit. But, first of all, I wouldn't go to the full cold. And it would still only be about a minute. No longer than a minute, and I was still freezing my balls off, honestly. And then I did gradually get colder and colder, but then to do 5 minutes, I was like, this guy telling me to do 5 anyway.
Yeah, so here's the
thing.
Tell
me what happened.
I was like,
I don't even know what happened.
I texted him and I said, yeah, I'm gonna do 5-minute cold showers because it's a mental test. And he was like, what are you talking about? Do you realize how hard that is? Start with like 10 seconds and then gradually build up.
I said 30 to a minute.
Yeah, okay, so he said that, and I was thinking, you fucking bitch. Like, I ain't no bitch. I work harder than you. I've got this shit on lock. I'm gonna turn that shit on the coldest setting. 5 minutes, I'm gonna put my face right under it because I understand that water can't hurt me. Okay, so day one comes. I'm a little nervous. I don't even know what happened. I'm kind of. I take my normal shower and I'm like, okay, I got to finish this shit off with 5 minutes in the cold. Get my timer set up and everything so I can make sure I'm doing exactly 5 minutes. Control all the variables. Make sure I'm not pussying out of this shit. Turn it on the coldest setting. I hop out of the shower. Okay, I get myself psyched up. Took me a good 10 minutes to get myself psyched up to even dip my toe in there. Now I'm like, okay, fuck it. Put the timer on, dash in the shower. I put my head under like this. I'm not risking it going down my back. I put my head under and it's just pouring down on me, the coldest setting. Imagine you've just eaten the coldest ice cream you've ever had. My skull was freezing up. I thought I'd been transported back to the Ice Age. Like, this was the craziest shit I've ever felt. My skull felt like it was gonna fall off my cervical spine. I thought this is
so
how
hard,
it ends.
man. You're
this
so
is how
hard,
it ends.
dude.
I lasted 20 seconds and I dashed
No!
straight back out of there. 20 seconds, I said, fuck this shit, I'm out. But that being said, I'm now taking a more methodical approach.
Finally.
So I should have listened to his advice all along, but now I'm doing my normal, and I've got numbers on the shower. So rather than banging it on the coldest one first time, I'm doing at the moment like a number. I can't remember what the number is, but I'm getting to like 4.5, and then next time I'll try and go 4.25, and then 4, and then gradually try and tilt it down. I'm doing just like 10 deep breaths and just making sure it's hard. You know, I'm trying to sustain it for as long as I want it to be uncomfortable. I want it to be difficult. I don't want to pussy out immediately.
Hey, this is exactly what I told you. I gave the example of with a client. Would you have your client, go deadlift 100 kilos from nothing? You wanted to go 5 minutes deep on the cold shower.
Yeah, but I said I'm not a bitch.
I was like, it's not happening.
I really thought I had the mental fortitude to overcome that, but evidently it's something that needs work.
Especially now. But benefits of cold showering. Do you believe in them?
So the primary reason I wanted to do it was for the mental tests, build up my discipline, add some hardship into my life. That was the only reason I was doing it. I believe the research is coming to be at a decent level in terms of immune system support and things like that. But obviously you've got Wim Hof, who's just like leading the charge with that kind of thing.
He did lead the way. And he started years ago.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, Wim Hof is the Iceman, the guy who he's got all the world records for staying in ice for the longest period of time, climbing Mount Everest in his shorts, climbing mountains again and again in Poland in his shorts, nothing but shorts. And he claims, that the cold is your friend.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy, man.
He's a nut, but I respect it big.
But like, I look at the people I want to be like, and I'm thinking of like your Jocko Willings and your David Goggins. I'm like, these tough dudes that could beat up anyone in front of them, who when they see a challenge, they're like, I'm gonna run straight at it rather than avoid it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, even if you read the book of David Goggins, when he was like overweight, like a lot.
I was listening to an interview with him.
In his he had the will. He just decided, okay, I'm gonna change now. He went for a run. He said he didn't even make a mile. Yeah. Like, he didn't make him. He had to walk the rest, and he started crying when he got home.
Yeah.
So you were like trying to go for the all out.
I was trying to do the ultra marathon.
Exactly how people do when they say, "Oh, I'm going to do 5K." They just try to run a 5K from sitting from nothing. It's the exact same with a cold shower. Honestly, the cold shower is the same.
No, but I don't know. I thought I could back myself, but. Listen, we'll keep you up to date with my cold shower adventures because I am trying to progress it every day.
Yeah,
and soon enough,
we don't want to see it.
You'll have to pay a premium if you want to see that, but sign up to my OnlyFans.
$2.99 a month, OnlyFans.
$2.99. Come on, I'm a premium athlete.
Fine, $3.50.
Nah, 15 minimum.
OnlyFans.
And then make sure you tip. Make sure you tip at the end as well. But yeah, cold shower is not for me. But
my shower's broken at the moment, so I can't do it. And I'm not doing a cold bath. I'm not doing a cold bath. You are out of your mind.
You're doing baths in the morning now.
Yeah, only because I don't like baths, but my shower head's broken.
I mean, needs must. I'd rather you wash them not. But what I will say is, like, you were talking to me once about exposure therapy. Remember?
Yes.
This is a good
thing. Subject, actually.
Because you were the one that introduced me to exposure therapy, and do you remember what we were talking about when we were talking about
I remember exactly what we were talking about.
Go on, tell the story.
I'm not telling the story. This story is a bit explicit. It's not even explicit. It's
I think it's PG.
Exposure therapy. Well, you could go down the Jordan Peterson route, because that's where he's one of the guys that I learned it from, and he was talking about how he used to deal with people who have phobias of needles or elevators,
like spiders and stuff like that.
And he said I think someone had a phobia with needles. This was his example, and he was saying how if he was working with someone who had like a phobia of needles, he would first begin. You don't just bring out a needle and say, yeah, go over it. That would be for them 0 to 100. For what he would do is just tell a person, oh, I have a needle in this cupboard. I'm not going to bring it out, but how do you feel? And then that person starts feeling a little bit anxious because they know the needle's in there. So first you just start with that. Then you're like, oh, I'm going to bring this up. Or maybe it's like a week later. Oh, now I'm just going to bring the needle. I'm going to leave it here. And it's just slowly getting closer to the person, getting exposed to that experience, and then eventually getting over it.
Yeah, and we were talking it in relation to approaching people and talking to them, right? So you were saying, like, the first thing you might do is go up to someone and ask for the time or ask for directions. That's a little bit less intimidating. And then you might, realize that's actually fine. And then you might ask them, oh, how are you? Or you might ask them a name. And then eventually it becomes more of a thing. I mean, it's not something I've put into practice yet, especially given COVID. Like, I think going up to random people COVID, right now is like a bit frowned upon.
No, rather.
And you don't want to talk through your mask and try and make a conversation. Have you ever had that shit where you're trying to make conversation but you got a mask on, so it's like, oh, how are you doing? And they're like, what? And you lose all your charm.
But check this out. Yesterday I was in Hammersmith, and then there was these two guys. First of all, I saw them and I was like, these two guys look weird. I don't know. They were the young guys. They didn't have masks on, and then I don't know. There was something weird about their vibe. And then one of them, like, he's coming my way and he's like, oh, do you know the word of Jesus? And I'm like, man. I was like, no.
Here we go.
I was like, no. So I walked off. I just ignored him. But then I went to the shop and I came back, and then the guy was full on. They were both of them having full on conversations with people. They didn't have their masks. Other people would have masks, but then they would put down their masks and they're having a full conversation about Jesus, like super close. And I'm like, I was thinking, what's the point in even having a mask? Because not the guy, Jesus guy, but the other people were from the street. He just put his mask down, and they started talking about Jesus. But like, I was like, what's the point in even having that mask on? But yeah, I was like, this guy's got balls.
Yeah,
this guy's got balls of steel to just be going up in people's faces. He didn't care about keeping distance. He was like, do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in Jesus Christ? Like that.
Yeah, but when you believe God's got your back, you think you're invincible sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some element of confidence to take from believing in God, right? Like, if you've got God to fall back on, if you fuck up, then you've always got, I'm going to heaven in like 80 years. It doesn't matter.
But they have that leap of faith.
What do you mean?
They have the leap of faith in believing in that. So then they're just like on their mission, man.
Yeah.
Those people are just on their mission because they believe it so die hard.
Yeah.
So,
but when there's nothing like to fall back on, it's kind of like you don't really have that same confidence.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into our main topic just yet, but I do want to introduce. I want to talk about this week on social justice warriors.
Oh, okay, is that a thing?
No, it's not a thing. But I heard this.
The social justice warriors.
We don't enjoy social justice warriors.
I'm offended, bro.
Are you triggered? But this week there's a. I heard this story and I just thought this is hilarious.
What was it?
A guy called Harry Hesketh. I think he's like a esports gamer on FIFA. Okay, so he plays the video game FIFA professionally, and he's playing this 14-year-old wonder kid, FIFA wonder kid, and he's streaming it on Twitch. And he's playing him, and this kid is spanking him. Like, this kid is like 3-0 up in 10 minutes, and he's just showing no mercy to this streamer. Hits him, ends up beating him 14-0.
Nice.
No, sorry, I think it was 13-0 actually. 13-0, no mercy, gets spanked. And the streamer, Harry Hesketh, makes a your mum joke to him, and he says, his fingers are quick but mine are longer, and then he makes a reference to his mum. He's made this corner. It's not a good joke, but it's like it's a your mum joke. This guy's clearly raging because he's just lost 13. You know the feeling when you lost 13-0. And EA,
actually, no, I can't relate. I can't relate to that.
You guess. Listen, when you're losing there's no greater rage than losing at a video game.
Do you know how many control pads I've been through?
Mate, I've had some infamous stories about throwing controllers, and my
some...
brother can attest to that.
Wait, finish the story. I'll tell you the story.
So anyway, he makes the your mum joke, and EA have banned him from competing. They banned for a your mum joke on Twitch.
Your mum joke.
Who has not made a your mum joke? It's not a good joke. It's not a clever joke. It's not even a funny joke. But it's so unimaginative and uninnovative. It's not offensive anymore because it's like it's just a thing. It's a your mum joke. Who gives a shit? I'm sure even the 14-year-old kid didn't care. It's funny because it's a grown man saying a your mum joke to a 14-year-old kid, but at the same time, it's like, who really gives a shit?
Man, going to a boys' school, man, that's like nothing.
You're
nothing.
Experiencing...
All the stuff that I heard, that is nothing. Your mum jokes, man. Come on, that's so like
the levels of abuse.
It just shows the world that we're in today, anyway.
And now he's retired from playing FIFA because he got banned. He's like, fuck this shit.
Well, let's talk about FIFA rage quickly because I remember I've been through so many controllers playing that football FIFA game.
Mate,
you have no idea how many controllers, and I used to be worse and better now. Well, probably because I don't play FIFA anymore. That's why. But FIFA's the one game because it's just 1-on-1 and it's all on you. I can't remember how old I was. I was playing against the guy from my school, and I was like, I'm so much better than this guy. I'm so much better. And then he beat me. Yeah. Oh, he must have scored. Like, it must have been like 3-0 up or something. Yeah. I threw the control pad, and then I punched the window, and my hand went through the window. And I just got that sudden, oh fuck.
Yeah. Bro. It's
I must have been 13 years old at the time.
My brother and his friends never wanted to play against me because they were all better than me because they're all like 4 years older than me. and they would always beat me. And when I lose, there's either controllers getting smashed, I'm trying to punch someone, like I'm trying to rip a door off the hinges. Like, but that made me get better at FIFA, and then I raged a lot less because I was actually winning. So I'm sure if I lose now, I still get pissed, but it led to self-improvement on FIFA.
All right, do you want to get onto today's subject?
Well, we will, but we're going to try out a new format. We're going to wrap up section 1 of the podcast. There's going to be a 10-second or 5-second transitional period before we come back to your screens. Okay, so we'll see you back shortly. And we're back. Okay, so
we're back.
Main topic of today. We wanted to talk about the Forbes top 10.
Well, you wanted to, huh? You brought this up this week,
huh?
Why?
Because Elon Musk has been in the news a lot because he's making good kind of headway towards the number 1 spot. He's coming for Jeff's place. Not at the moment.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I checked this the other day.
List now.
Oh, what does it say?
So we've got Bezos up at number 1 at 187 billion.
Oh, his must have gone up since I checked, huh?
Well, the change has recently been he's down. Everyone's down, but Musk is down the most out of the top 10. Okay, so Musk is down at 8.2 bill.
Okay. I checked this the other day.
Actually,
I'm not sure what happened
with him. But we wanted to take a look at the rich list because, like I say, Elon, I think for maybe a moment in time, was number 1.
So it's Elon that made you want to talk about the rich list.
And Bezos as well, because this guy is forever in the news and people want to demonize him for having this huge amount of wealth.
Well, here's the thing, with creating that amount of wealth, I think I don't know where I read this. I think it was last year Amazon made something along the lines of like 400,000 jobs.
Yeah.
So I read that somewhere.
I actually wrote this down. Over the COVID period, they've made 175,000 new employees.
New jobs. Yeah, new jobs. Yeah.
That's 175,000 in COVID, in one of the most dire situations.
Well, they profited the most, probably. Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. But here, what I want to say, first of all, Bezos is a self-made guy. Yeah, he may have come from a middle class or whatever family, but as far as like huge amounts of wealth, this has come from his innovation. Think about Amazon as a innovative brand, what it's created. It started off very
selling
simply,
books,
just books online. And do you know how he used to actually distribute them?
No.
So he'd get the order in, and then he'd go around his local area to find the book that someone had ordered. He'd buy it from like a second-hand shop, and then he'd ship it off. So this is like hustle mode.
Yeah, I've seen some videos of him from
mode.
back in the 90s.
Yeah, and you see this tiny little office with the banner hanging up, it's like spray painted, But it started off there, and then he started to think, I could do exactly the same with other products, and he's built it up, and then think about the now other elements of Amazon. You've had the Echo, the Alexa, you've had what was I going to say? Lost my trail of thought. You've had the Echo, you've had Amazon Prime, you've had Amazon Music.
Amazon Prime has changed the game. Lord have mercy, that's good.
The delivery service, you've had the video service, you've had the music service, you've got...
They're buying a lot of companies. They're buying a lot. The Audible is Amazon.
Yeah, Audible's Amazon as well.
Amazon.
It's... what else was
the
Kindle? Remember when the Kindle came out?
Like
Amazon. This guy is constantly trying to improve the game. He saw voice recognition was a thing. He's now dominating the voice recognition market with Alexa. And I think it's just, you look at a company that does everything like you would want. There's a reason everyone uses Amazon on a daily, weekly basis. If I need to buy something, I'm going on Amazon.
Yeah, straight away.
I'm going on Amazon because it's created such an amazing platform.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show I feel like this is a really good example of how hierarchy is created by the most proficient and intelligent go to the top. The people who do the best go to the top. He's created...
Do you think there's a limit, though, to how much power that guy can have? Or because Amazon's just...
I mean,
there are certain... powerful.
Yeah, there's certain countries, I do believe, that are limiting the monopoly Amazon can hold. Because obviously it's very prominent in the US and in the UK in particular. I'm not sure how much market share it has in other countries, but I do believe there are certain countries that are limiting how much power.
So what do you think of Elon Musk? Because the whole thing now is Elon Musk versus Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
They've got like a little rivalry going on.
Well, here's
now
the thing.
it's going back and forth between first and second place between Elon and Jeff Bezos, because there was a point. It was a couple of weeks ago. Elon Musk was number one as richest man in the world, worth 185 billion. Now, obviously, this changes all the time.
Yeah.
But they have a whole rivalry in going to space. Have you seen all this?
Yeah, because this is actually one of Jeff's childhood dreams, is to like be able to live on space essentially and create space, because he had this obsession with Star Trek when he was younger.
And I think Elon Musk is winning this. I've seen a lot of things that are saying how Bezos is just far behind where Elon Musk and that SpaceX are.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like that's Elon's
That's his
more
world.
of a passion. You know, Bezos is still dealing with Amazon, whereas Elon's more like, just space.
But it's not though, because Elon Musk, he's got the 4 different companies that he's running. I don't know where this guy has the time.
What are the other two?
He's got Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and I think it's called the Boring Company, and I think that's the one that's building like the motorways underneath the ground in LA, because they got a big traffic problem out there.
Again, but you want to talk about
that's the one.
Fucking innovation. These two are geniuses.
Yeah.
It's like they were both incredibly intelligent when they were younger.
Yeah.
They're still continuing to be incredibly
And
intelligent.
they work, Elon Musk works like a horse.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that the first time I ever heard Elon Musk's name must have been about 5 years, maybe more, 5-6 years ago. And it was actually from that Ty Lopez. And he was talking about Elon Musk. And he was like, he was quoting Elon Musk, and because he's a huge fan of Elon Musk ages ago. Because Elon Musk used to work for PayPal. You know that?
He created PayPal, right?
Yes, something along those lines. And then he was just talking about his resume is impressive. And he was like, Elon Musk had a quote saying, if you work 100 hours a week and your competitors work 40 hours a week, you'll achieve what in 5-6 months, what it takes your competitors 1 year to do.
Yeah.
And I think he's known to just being a total workhorse. And I think he has something like 5 kids.
I'm not sure.
I don't think he has even time to even see them. When I was reading something along those lines.
But you think about these guys, I don't think they actually value money as much as people would probably believe. I think the reason they've accumulated so much wealth is because they're so passionate about the projects they work on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the wealth is just a byproduct.
Have you heard Elon Musk talking about Tesla?
And the way this guy invests, like he pretty much invests all of the money he makes back into his companies. Like, he's not a guy who, yes, he had all those properties which he just sold, but in terms of what he has in comparison to what he could have, it's so little, because he keeps reinvesting.
So what do you think about Tesla? Electric car company. Because I've been reading how it's valued as, the most, right now I think it's valued as the most most expensive or most highly valued car company in the world, but they only produce something like 2 or 3% of all cars.
I think
because people are betting on it on being the future.
I believe it could be.
But let's see what happens when all these big companies. Well, they already are.
Yeah, in China, this week they were announcing some kind of.
But I'm talking like the main car companies, like I don't know, the General Motors. And once these guys get really serious with their electric. Let's see what happens to Tesla.
But it's like Tesla's leading the way that way. And
I
think here's the thing as well. Like, people really like Elon Musk.
They love Elon Musk. There's an Elon Musk cult around.
Yeah, they buy Tesla because they love Elon Musk. And as long as he's the face, and, because he was on Joe Rogan and he smoked that joint as well, didn't he? And that meant they lost loads of stocks But people were like, the cult were like, he smokes joints.
But apparently one thing is that Elon Musk, he focuses down on the products so much. Because I was watching an interview with him, and he was like, for Tesla, they don't put money into marketing. They put all the focus on making a great product. You see, his thinking was because he's like, everything from Tesla's come from word of mouth. Because he's like, we don't invest in marketing. I've never seen an ad for Tesla. I've never seen one, not one. The only thing I hear is how much people love that fucking car. How people love how fast that car is. That's all I've heard.
But I think they look cool. I would
do
certainly
look
like
cool.
to own a Tesla.
Yeah, if I was gonna have a car,
Nice.
I'll have a Tesla.
But there's no need for
But here's
that.
something. Here's another thing, because people think, you buy a Tesla, oh, I'm saving the planet. That's really not the case. And like, I remember I said to you, we were talking about climate change a couple of weeks ago. Like, yeah, man, Elon Musk has got this.
No,
This is what he said. I know. I know you weren't being serious, but you're like, yeah, Elon Musk has got this. But like, I was looking, because as I was looking more into Elon Musk, I started looking into Bill Gates as well, and what Bill Gates is doing. What he's doing is absolutely fascinating.
In terms of what?
So he was actually just talking about climate change, and then he was talking about this guy who loves Tesla, and he was like, yeah, to do with climate change, like, it's one part, but it's a very small part, and the whole scheme of things to do with climate change, because that's just transport you're thinking about, and that's just transport of like motor vehicles. You've got transport of planes. There's no electric plane. There's no electric lorries, because lorries are way a shit ton. There's no electric boats. And these are things they produce way more.
No, but like when I was saying about it, it's gonna be an Elon Musk, either Elon himself or someone like that that's gonna think of some shit that's gonna turn carbon into oxygen.
Here's the thing: Elon Musk is already he's planned to live in Mars, mate.
Yeah.
I think he's bounced on the Earth, mate. I think he's like, you know what? We're all fucked.
Yeah.
I'm getting my ass to Mars.
Yeah. But let's talk about Gates, actually, because he's now number 4. And for like the entirety of my childhood, I remember Gates being like number one. He's the richest man, and he was on like The Simpsons and shit like that. This he was known as the richest man. But I was reading a little bit about him, and he's incredibly philanthropic. Like he's invested a shit ton of money into charities. He owns the largest private charitable foundation. And he's even during the COVID times, he's invested a shit ton of money.
He single-handedly almost eradicated polio.
It's insane.
Single-handedly. That's not governments. That's Bill Gates and the foundation have almost eradicated polio, which is just insane when you think about it.
Yeah,
and they're trying to do HIV and.
But they see these people still stigmatize the richest people in the world. It's like, you're hoarding all this wealth. Da, da, da. First of all, let's get one thing straight.
Some communism, man.
Yeah, socialism.
Socialism, bro.
First of all, let's get one thing
straight.
Just look
at Venezuela, man. It'll be awesome, right? Well, no, definitely not.
I lost my trail of thought.
Sorry,
distracted me with this hippie over here is distracting me with his socialist
We just need some
thoughts.
LSD and some weed, man. That's all we need, man.
But yeah, their net worth is not how much money they have in the fucking bank. That is how much everything they own is worth. That's their business valuation.
And actually, another thing is Forbes aren't exactly accurate on these estimations. No.
It's the best we've got.
It's the best we've got, but then now you have to bear in mind this is the official rich list. This is the official, legal rich list. Because I'm telling you.
Talking about Rothschilds.
We definitely are, but there's other big names that we have to talk about. We could talk about before Gaddafi, General Gaddafi, the leader of Libya, before he was taken out. He was estimated to be worth $200 billion, which is more than Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. 200 billion. And you've got other guys like Vladimir Putin, another estimated between 70 to 200 billion dollars.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was doing because I've known this for a while. We know, because the Forbes, they can't read. It's very much guesswork. They don't have actual data on this. People are hiding stuff in banks, in Swiss banks, and
they got a shoebox under their bed with cash.
Or you've got the drug cartels in Mexico. Who knows how much they have? Because at the time, when Pablo Escobar was about, the famous Colombian drug pin or kingpin, whatever, he was thought to be now they're saying top 10 richest people in the world. But back then, you're not gonna know that. You're not gonna know that. But so right now, we have the official list, but then there's some dodgy dealings going around the world.
True.
And this is actually from Putin's banker, who's now in exile. I think he's in France, but his family's here in London actually. Because I watched a whole documentary on this. But he says he was talking to The Guardian. He says any attempt to calculate Putin's net worth won't succeed. He's the richest person in the world until he leaves power. And with everything that's going on with Navalny, Did you know Navalny? Well, you see how we were talking about him in the last podcast.
Yes.
This is Putin's most vocal critic. He's in jail now. They put him, locked him up
After trying to poison him.
Well, he actually released a documentary last week delving into the details.
In prison?
No. This is before he went to prison. I think this is why they actually nabbed him, because the documentary came out last week. It's already got 100 million views, and it's like a 2-hour documentary. I started watching it last night.
Yeah.
It's all in Russian, so it's all subtitled.
Right.
I couldn't keep up. It was going at such a fast pace, but they were breaking down in detail with papers, like all sorted out. And this is why the protests are. This is the reason why the protests went crazy.
It's suspect over there, man. It's suspect. But let's get back to the rich list. We skipped over number 3. That's the Bernard Arnault.
I don't know.
Arnault. He's the owner of LVMH, which owns Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Moet. It owns about 70 luxury brands. Givenchy. He is the owner of that, and he's one of the few actually on the rich list that is not self-made. Okay. In terms of like his father made, I think a huge fortune in construction, and then Bernard invested $15 million, I believe, to purchase Christian Dior off the back of his father's money. But now they've basically acquired every single luxury brand, and that's how he's making so much fucking money. He's the richest man in France, richest man in Europe. One of the few Europeans on the top 10, actually. Cool. Then we get into number 5. We've got Mark Zuckerberg, who we've discussed a little bit. And I was reading a little bit this week about how Biden really does not like Mark Zuckerberg. Like, even back when he was the VP to Obama, he was not a fan of Zuckerberg. Really? And he's been really vocal about how much he dislikes Zuckerberg. So I haven't seen much into that. Actually, people are starting to believe like the actual amount of power Mark Zuckerberg's going to have in the US is going to diminish significantly. Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. We can hope, right? Let's wait and see what happens. But he is by far the youngest on the rich list, because he's only 37. That's insane. He's not even 40 yet. Yeah. Then number 6, we've got Zhong Shashan from China, who owns a pharmaceuticals company. I was doing a tiny bit of research into him. I don't know too much about him. You know something crazy? Elon Musk was barely in the top 50 of the richest list at the beginning of 2020. Wow. So he was barely, I think. But when did Tesla go public? Do you know? I'm not sure. At the start of 2020, he was worth 27 billion. Wow. That's nothing compared to numbers. He was barely in the top 50. Yeah. And now what? So from 27 billion, he's now up to around 185 billion. One can dream. Number 7, we've got Warren Buffett, who's the oldest individual in the top 10. I mean, I don't think we really need to explain who he is. He's one of the most well-known investors in the world. And that's pretty much how he made most of his wealth. Then you've got Larry Ellison at number 8, who owns the software company Oracle. Number 9 is Larry Page, who is the owner of Google. And then finally, number 10, Sergey Brin, who is also to do with Google. Actually, this has changed, because Steve Ballmer was number 10 while I was doing my research yesterday. So that's Steve Ballmer he was the CEO of Microsoft up until, I believe, 2014. So this Sergey Brin guy, I actually don't know who he is because I haven't researched him, but he's just pipped his way into the top 10. Sick. So this is the top 10 that's right now, 10. As of today. As of whatever the Forbes rich lists states. So you know who's the richest family in the world? Are you going to say the Rothschilds? It's the Rothschild. Yeah. I was digging deep, but you know who's second? Conspiracy theories. Who is it? The House of Saud. Okay. Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Saudi Arabia. The whole family, 1.4 trillion. What? When you start talking trillion, it's gross. It's not even real money when it's trillions. But what do you think about money in general? Because when I was researching a lot of these guys, they do a lot of charitable work, and people expect them to give away 80-90% of their wealth to charities, and it's like, well, they've kind of been the ones that have created amazing products, have done amazing business, have taken on huge amounts of risk, but you expect them to kind of give away all their money for why? It could be because of in the Bible it says something like the love of money is the root of all evil or something like that. But here's what you don't realize is, again, I'm pretty sure none of these guys are in love with money. Bezos and Musk especially love innovating. They're both obsessed with space. Bill Gates puts huge amounts of wealth back into charities, back into the community. I can't speak for any of the other guys, but from my research, these guys are not obsessed with money. And what a lot of people say with money is, when you accumulate large amounts of wealth, all it does is kind of exaggerate the characteristics you already have. So if you are a naturally greedy dickhead, then you'll become an even bigger greedy dickhead, and you'll probably put a gold wrap on your Lamborghini and shit, and wear a nice big chain. But if you're a naturally relatively philanthropic person, you'll be able to do that on a larger scale, and all it does is really amplify what you want to do. But for me, I like money. I don't think they should have to give away their money.
I don't know who says they want to give away money. Well, they should give away money.
Yeah, why should they though?
I don't think so.
A lot of people expect them to. It's like, Bezos could cure X, Y, and Z if he just invests. You don't realize, he's got all his money tied up in so much shit. It's not as simple as giving 100 billion to be able to aid a charity, whatever. It's not simple for him to acquire 100 billion, because he'd have to sell off all these assets and things like that. It's not 100 billion in cash. But I think we're gonna wrap up. This is part 2.
All right, let's wrap it up,
and then we'll be back with you in a moment.
Oh, sweet.
And we are back. So
we are back.
Welcome back to part 3. There was a story in the news. It was on the BBC. I found it quite interesting. It was an individual. He owns a psychotherapy company called Spill, right? And he wanted to do this experiment where he paid all his workers exactly the same. So initially, the company started out with, I believe it was 5 people. And he was like, okay, because we all pretty much do the same work, we do the same kind of hours and the same kind of skill level, we're all going to pay each other. We're all going to get paid the exact same amount, which at the time was £36,000. That kind of worked for a while, he said, because everyone was kind of doing the same thing. But then they needed to acquire new talent. They needed to acquire software engineers and things like that. And they were finding it very difficult to acquire senior talent and more experienced staff on that same pay level. Eventually, when it got to, I believe, around 11 to 12 employees, it all fell down, and people were getting resentful of one another because it's like, I'm doing more work than this fucker, so I should be getting paid more. I'm more senior than him. I've put in more hours this week. I'm more intelligent. I'm better. I'm more proficient. And it just all fell down, and now it's back to a normal pay scheme.
Well, fantastic.
If that shows anything, I think it's a really interesting.
Man, I think it's just obvious, that system's never gonna work. If you put 12 of us on the island and one person's putting more shift. Have you ever seen those TV programs where they put people on islands and they have to barely survive? I think it's like Bear Grylls or something like that. I remember seeing this years ago.
Yeah.
And then these people get into rage arguments because some people aren't putting in the work for the rest of the group, or someone's sneakily trying to have a bit more fish than the other one, or it real quick at the beginning they all start all friends and whatnot, but then when they're like together for a long period of time, and then they see some people putting in the shift and some people not, and then now we have to share everything equally.
But it's it brings us on to kind of
communism,
socialism, all that jazz. Which
if you're not into politics, you're not going to enjoy this, but I think we are. Well, we're intrigued by it. I'm curious by it.
I'm trying to get into it. Daniel's a bit more experienced than I am, so I'm going to ask him a few questions because he's been researching what they do over in Sweden. So
Sweden,
you have a friend over in Sweden.
I've got a very close friend. One of my closest friends lives in Sweden. He was born and raised in Sweden. Now, the thing with Sweden is that, like in American politics or the Democrats, or even here sometimes they're like, oh yeah, we want to be just like Sweden, man. Look at Sweden. They're socialists. They're a socialist country. Sweden is not a socialist country at all. They are known for having high taxes. That's for sure. That's without question. Like high taxes is a thing, but the way that the Swedes do it, it's not you tax the rich and then provide to the poor. It's everyone gets highly taxed. So the people in Sweden who are actually getting taxed the most is actually the middle class and the working class. They're getting taxed a lot.
But it's a progressive tax system, right?
The idea is that everyone is going to see the benefits of the tax of the high taxes.
But
like,
as you earn more, you are getting taxed more, right?
you are getting taxed.
Like,
you are getting taxed
I think
more.
it said something after sort of 70 grand or something like that. It was like 60%.
Yes,
taxes
no.
or
So
something like
I asked my friend and I did some research, and I was seeing online that it's around 60%.
Yeah.
60%. Everything you make, the government are taking 60%.
And people in
Wow. Just
people
imagine
in,
everything you made, they're taking 60%. Oh, bro, I'd be pissed.
people
I'd
in
be
California
pissed.
are getting pissed
I-
at 52%
bro, I would
after
be-
in the top
I
tax
would be
bracket.
so pissed. Anyway, my friend who's born and raised out there, he was like, so I asked him, tell me more about it, and he was like, yeah, man, the taxes are so high here, like it's like a pain in the ass. He's like, if you start earning around like $5,000 a month, you're gonna get taxed 60%. But so then he's like, a doctor and a bus driver, like the difference of the quality of life, it's not that great, like as it is here in the UK, because he worked here in the UK, so he knows exactly what it's like here in the UK. He knows what the work life, like how the balance is here in the UK, and he's like, there, over in Sweden, you know, a bus driver, or cleaner, and a doctor, they're gonna live fairly similar, not the same, but fairly similar lives, yeah. And then my friend starts going off because I asked him, like, what do you think of it? He's like, he starts going off about it. He's like, nah, man, it's just getting taxed so much. And I was like, oh, so what do you prefer, there in Sweden or here in the UK? Because he lived here in the UK and he did quite well here in the UK. And then he said, nah, I'll stay in Sweden. I was like, what? I was just like, you spent like 3 minutes just slamming the Swedish system, yeah. And he goes, yeah, but you know, you've just always got that backup. You've always got that backup.
No, do you know what? Like, because I was watching, so I was trying to do a little bit of research into it just so I had some context. And there was a BBC kind of interviews with various people, and they were all very, I don't know if it was a biased thing, but they were all very complimentary of the system. And they were like, you know, we don't have to stress about, because they subsidize even things like daycare. Like, so there's zero tuition fees. There's paid parental leave. There's subsidized daycare.
The parental leave something crazy, like a year and a half per parent or something like that. I was like, that's insane.
But you think about like that, and it's one of the things that leads to poor quality of life is poor parenting a lot of the time. So you think about it, if you can provide the children of, you know, if you like, the future with good parenting, you know, parents that are around all the time, subsidized daycare so they can get full daycare, so their parents can work and make money, it kind of makes logical sense.
It does. When I was doing my research into it, most of the tax revenues go into like childcare programs. They have a vast leave of absence opportunities, and free higher education, which is big, which is huge. So they got a very highly educated. And whenever I speak to Swedes or Scandinavians, I'm like, these people are so smart. It's like their education system must be insanely good.
Yeah, you know what? Like, it's a thing because, you know, I'm into my education, and I've thought many a time, oh, maybe I should do an osteopathy degree or a chiropractor degree or something along the lines of physical therapy. But then I just look, and especially with these types of degrees that are masters and things like that, and it's 4 or 5 years, I'm like, I'm gonna end up being in 40 grand of debt, like at least, and it's not a good return on investment for me.
So that's another idea, you know. If you got free education, you're not paying that debt, so you can use that to consume out in Sweden. Also, if you don't have to pay childcare, which is super expensive. Oh my god, I didn't realize how expensive it was here in the UK. But then, if you're not paying it out there in Sweden, boom, you got all that money to spend on consuming, consuming in the economy out in Sweden. So that's another idea around it. Now, everyone always says how, you know, high taxes. Oh, that's not good for businesses. Now, Sweden are very, very business oriented as well. Now, if you just have a look at these companies that have come out of Sweden, it's insane when you actually look at it. First, you got IKEA, big main one. But you got Spotify.
Yeah, I was gonna say Spotify.
Huge company. You got Candy Crush. I didn't know that. Apparently from
yeah.
Sweden. Yeah. Minecraft is gay as well.
Okay.
They're investing big in technology.
Into tech,
Skype is Swedish.
But Skype really fucked up this year.
Either way, Skype nonetheless, and IKEA of course. But yeah, they have a really friendly. They actually have really friendly policies to the wealthy.
So why? So we've got. Let's bring California into this because
California
everyone's leaving California
love.
right now. All of the rich people, a lot of them going to Texas and things like that.
Florida.
Everyone's leaving. Yeah,
That's
Miami.
a whole different subject, man. That's a
But
whole different
why?
subject.
Why is that tax system being so frowned upon in comparison to what they're doing in Sweden? Because it's still less taxation than in Sweden.
So they're not getting they're not getting the same benefits.
But
They're not
why?
getting the sick. They're not getting the sick healthcare. They're not getting the sick education. They're not getting that. In America, there's no that parental leave.
So where the fuck's the money going?
I don't know, mate. The military, man. I
But
don't know.
here's the thing.
That's
Feel
America.
free to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe this is one of the arguments for cryptocurrency. Because cryptocurrency, if all currency becomes crypto, then you can see where all the money is getting spent.
Do you think the future is going crypto?
No, because I
know.
don't think governments will allow it. I don't think the world will allow it.
I got a friend who's invested in Bitcoin a couple of years ago. And
Is
now
it
it's
minted
worth.
now?
Now it's worth. I don't know. I think he put something like $4,000 in, and now
Yeah.
maybe like 40 grand, 50 plus. But I think getting that money back is a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's not
I
as
think
easy
it's
as like
not
stocks
simple.
and shares
It's
and things
not
like
simple.
that.
It's really.
And you've got these whole like wallets and things like that. With a Bitcoin, you can have half a Bitcoin. It's a really complex thing to wrap your head around.
But now you are seeing like on the underground, they're like, oh, yeah, you can buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
people are
okay.
trying to, like, companies and trading companies are trying to really capitalize on the boom of it. But actually, going back to stocks and shares, I once had a client. He was a millionaire. He sold his company and he exited for a 7-figure sum. I was talking to him about investments. And I was 18, 19 at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, you should invest in Amazon." And Amazon was a big deal back then.
Yeah.
But I checked literally today what I would have made. It's gone up 400% since that. So back I would have, if I'd invested like 5Gs back then, I would have made 15 grand in 4 years. And I'm like, I should have listened to this motherfucker. But there's so many missed opportunities.
Yeah, you just never know, mate.
It's a risk. It's a risk.
It's a big risk.
But that's money. I really feel like I should start educating myself on investments and things like that. But at the same
I
time,
got
I'm
friends
like,
that are looking into it right now. For me, it's just not my thing. That's not really what I envision myself doing. Stocks and honestly,
no, but it's
not.
a full-time job.
Well, it can be and it can't be because my friend, he just put money in. He never looked at it for years.
Yeah.
You put money in.
That's the smart
You look
way
at
to
it
do
long
in my
term.
opinion.
And I've seen guys that do it like daily.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Oh man, I remember seeing this one guy doing this daily, and I was like, nope.
That's
no, thank you.
Stress.
No, thank you.
That is stress.
That's not me.
Well, although that being said, I know some people that do day trading and do incredibly well out of it. So,
yeah.
you know,
got both.
they are the people that treat it like a job and they do all their research and things like that, and they get insider tips and things. So, it's something you really need to do your research on. This is not investment or financial advice. Because we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, stocks and all that. Bitcoin. I haven't got a clue, honestly. I haven't got a clue.
But the way this is going to sound super lame, but I think of myself as the investment. So all the money, I recently took money out of various ISAs, and I've put it into courses. I've put it into education. I've put it into the business, that's where I'm kind of double downing on myself. I'm backing myself.
Double down on the skills.
Yeah, I'm backing myself to be more valuable and create a greater return on investment than some of these stocks and things like that.
So way
to go. But yeah, you good? You got anything else you want to talk about?
I think I'm good, to be honest. I think we're done. We spent this whole time talking about politics and
yeah, literally no health advice.
No
today,
health today.
So
sorry
financial.
about
that. But I'm sure we'll try. I think we should try next time to get a bit more on the health and fitness vibe next episode. If you have any topic suggestions, feel free to
the Illuminati, conspiracy theories, man.
Talk about conspiracy
5G,
theories.
Man.
No,
I'm not into that.
I'm not a conspiracy theory.
Do you believe in
guy.
ghosts?
No. Absolutely not. Like, if anyone knows anything about me, like, all that shit just seems so silly to me.
Well, here's something wild, yeah. Now I was listening to this on Andrew Huberman, his podcast.
Yeah.
He's just a well-known scientist out from California. Anyway,
who you're now obsessed with.
I'm super obsessed with. Now he was talking about how we can't see infrared. Yeah. Now there's animals out there that they can see stuff on different frequencies than we can see. Yeah. And he was saying how a snake, they can see, some snakes have like thermal vision basically, so they can sense heat, they can see heat. Yeah, so like a thermal vision. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they have infrared vision basically. And he's like, some animals, birds, how does a bird, you see these birds that fly from North America to South America or from Europe to Africa, how do you think they know where to go basically?
They just know, man.
What do you mean?
They just know.
It's
a sixth sense.
It's just memory.
They just know, yeah.
Well, actually, no, because he was.
I'm sure there's a logical explanation to it. He
was talking about neurons.
The answer's not ghosts.
No, it's not ghosts. But they have a sense. The neurons have a sense of the magnetic field of Earth.
I can back that. I can get behind
That's insane, though, man. Think about that, and then this is what blew my mind. He's like, it's been proven that even humans, there are some humans, only he said some humans, that can sense a magnetic field. Now, I was blown away because I'd heard this by like conspiracy guys saying how so, like you can feel magnetic the magnetic field. So that's a load of shit. That's what I used to think. But then now you got this scientist, well-known scientist, saying it's been proven that some humans can feel a magnetic field. I was like, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's wild. But it's like they're not 100% accurate, but it's like some people have a better gauging of it. But
listen,
I thought that was actually really interesting, to be honest.
If it's true, it's true. It doesn't affect me, but like
well, none of it affects you, but it's interesting. A magnetic field, imagine that you could feel magnetic field.
For what? To do what?
I don't know, man. It's fucking cool. If
like a superpower.
Yeah, it basically
What's your superpower? I can kind of feel magnetic fields. That's fucking lame, man.
Well, the whole. I remember hearing this years ago. The whole idea of like people who can like read like palms and that, or like read.
Nobody can read a fucking palm.
No, but it's not about reading palms. It's about reading someone's magnetic field. And the whole idea is like there's a lot of con artists, but then there's actually some legit ones. That's the whole idea around it.
I don't back it. There's no legit ones, man.
You don't back it, but this is a fucking hard scientist saying that there's humans that can feel magnetic fields.
Nobody's reading my palm and telling me my future, man.
No, it's not reading the future. It's reading the energies.
Energy, don't even talk to me about energy. Let's wrap it up here before I get pissed off. Why about energy. Why are you getting
pissed off? Well, birds can feel magnetic field. I think why can't some humans?
Because you're not a fucking bird. No, but birds can fly. Why can't some humans?
No, but it's been shown as a fact that there's some humans.
Get out of here, man.
Instantly you say no, but
come with some cold hard facts next podcast, and we can talk.
You say cold hard facts, yeah, but there's some things that science has yet to be explained.
See, the way my brain works, if I can't have some concrete evidence, I'm not buying into it.
Lame. Lame.
Right. I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
All right.
Leave us some feedback. Feel free to open any discussions with us. Please share it with a friend as well, because let's get Daniel like a fucking mic stand and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, yeah. Back it up.
Let's try and level up this. Have a crystal clear vision and level up the podcast.
Yeah, bro. I'm about to max out my credit cards from all the money we're making from this podcast.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, but we can't even monetize. I tried to monetize the fucking YouTube channel. Can't, because we've not got enough fans. We've got so few people watching. They're like, nah, you don't deserve it. So I think it's like when you get a certain number of views or a certain number of subscribers. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching.
Peace
out.